In the app, you're greeted with the inventory page where you can see a list of items that you have in stock. So now let's filter. So you have the ability to search and filter. So let's say I filter by all food. So these are the types of food that you can have. Let's see, dairy, right? Let's filter for dairy. Hit filter items. Now all of the items are now filtered by dairy. I can search for an item, for example. If I look up butter, now that you can see that there's butter inside of my inventory. Let's go back. Now let's try to add an item. You can either scan a receipt in which the AI determines which items you have purchased, or you can enter it manually. In this case, I will just enter it manually, for example. Let's say I choose veggies. So I add the name of the item, the type of the food, and the location of the item. And so now if I click add item, you can see that the item now gets added to my inventory. And the AI determines how long the item will last. For example, apples will last, for example, 9 days. Another task is to allow users to be able to create shopping lists. So for example, if you go to the shopping list tab or shopping tab, you're greeted with a list of shopping lists. Now they can be your own list or you can have shared lists. So let's say I want to, search for a list. Let's say I look up Friendsgiving. You can see that Friendsgiving dinner shows up. So I have the ability to search for a list. There's also suggested recipes. Now if I click on one suggested recipe, it'll take me to a page containing recipes. Now, suggestions are basically recipes based on the items that are expiring soon. So the app determines which items are expiring and it automatically figures out what kind of food you can make using AI. So if I click on creamy spaghetti, it'll tell you, how long it takes to cook, how many calories. These are the items that are currently in stock. So these three at the top. The one at the bottom, well, I need to purchase it, right? So then I can, let's say I want 2 cheese and 1 milk, hit add to shopping list. That gets, now I have to choose the list to add it to. Let's say I can search for a list. There you go. Let's say I look up dinner. I can choose Friendsgiving dinner, add to shopping list. Now that gets added to my Friendsgiving dinner shopping list. I can also create a new list. So if I create a new list, let's say I make it personal, Thanksgiving dinner, create list. Of course, it should show up in here, but obviously it'll take you back to the previous page with a newly added list. I can see what items are in my list. So if I click on apartment 312, let's see, I can add an item to that list. Let's say I want to shop for carrots. It's a vegetable. I want 2 carrots. Then if I click add item, it'll take me back to the previous screen where it'll add it to my shopping list. So one of our other tasks is to show food recommendations for food preservation tips. And so if you go to the preservation tab, you are greeted with a list of items or a list of articles that teach you how to preserve your food. Now this is actually based on the items that you have in your inventory. So for example, I recently added apples to my inventory. So now there will be an article telling you how to properly store it. Now this article, if you were to click on it, it would just open a Safari browser. It's not, within the app, it will just open an external browser. But you can also filter, for example, if I want to filter fruits or food types, I click on fruits, then you can see that I can filter by fruits and I can go back to all if I want to. There's also searching. So if I want to search for, bananas, for example, then it'll show up bananas. Features, or one of our tasks for this product, is to add group functionality to the previously mentioned features. So let's say my currently selected group is apartment 312. Let's say I want to see which members are in this group. So if I click on this edit button, I can see a list of members that are in the group. I can choose to delete a member. Let's say I want to delete Vin right here. If I click remove, it's going to remove the member. If I click cancel, it's going to dismiss this pop-up. I can also edit the name of the group. Let's say I also want to add a member to this group. I add a member right here. I will need to enter a phone number in which an account is associated with. So let's say I choose this phone number. Once I hit invite, it'll send a notification to the person with this phone number and it'll dismiss this page and take me back to this page. Now the member will only show if the user has accepted the invitation. If they don't, then they won't show up in this group. Let's go back and let's try to add a group. So let's create a group. I click on this plus button, enter a group name. Let's say apartment 123 is my group name. If I click create group, it'll add it to my list of groups that I'm in down here. Now, of course, the group functionality that represents one of our tasks works with all of the other features, such as viewing the items inside of your inventory. So my currently selected group was apartment 312. Now I can see the items that are in this group. I can also look at my shopping list and have a shared list with the members of that group. So you can see that I have an apartment 312 shared list.